fucking bro. You want to talk about cinema? Oh my god. Oh, what the fuck did I just watch, nigga? Hold on, let me make sure my camera isn't like my camera gets kind of blurry a little bit. Okay. All right, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Should be good. Should be good. I'll just let this sit so I can see if the quality's bad. But what the fuck did I just watch, nigga? What the fuck? I'm seeing ocean. I'm seeing I show speed in this bitch. I'm seeing Logan. I'm seeing a lot. I'm seeing a lot. I'm loving it, and I think we can comfortably say that. I think we
that night 2 was by far better than night 1. I think we can all say that. It's not really going to be the music stream. This is going to be the wrestling type of stream because I'm a wrestling fan, and a lot of the people that watch me don't really aren't the biggest fan of wrestling. But yeah, when it comes to WrestleMania and shit like that, man, I'm here. I'm here for it. So I kind of want to incorporate that into my YouTube channel now. But yeah, man, holy shit. Holy shit. Let me see. I'm supposed to have a couple guests coming on, but if let me go ahead and drop the link for them real quick, so just in case. But holy shit! Now I know that some ruling about it being John Cena and Stone Cold showing up. I don't know if maybe Stone Cold couldn't show up or something like that, so they just replaced him with Undertaker, which is a really good replacement, right? I mean, you probably would have got more offense with Stone Cold, probably, but hey, John Cena and fucking Undertaker staring versus The Rock. It's like I wasn't old enough to really see the Attitude Era like that, but it's like I'm reliving it through this new era, this Paul Levesque era that they're trying to promote now. So it's yeah, wrestling is cool again. Like they say, wrestling is man, that was it was definitely cinema. But we're gonna go through every single match. I'm gonna review every single match, gonna give my thoughts and opinions on it. Hopefully if Greatest Wick and Mustard are here for it, they'll probably pop in when I'm going through the match. But this WrestleMania is going to be up there. Night 2 definitely made up for night 1. I think night 1 was very underwhelming. Night 1 is just, it's not. It wasn't. It didn't feel like a WrestleMania. It almost felt like a Monday Night Raw in a sense. But yeah. I'm going to go through these things, and if you're not liking, subscribe. Make sure you like and subscribe. All that. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter. Shout out to all the people watching on YouTube. All 2 of you guys. Shout out to you watching on Twitter. Apparently, I just got like I don't know what happened like in the last 2 or 3 weeks, but I just seem to see like a spike in viewership on Twitter. I don't know if it's just. I don't know what happened. Hey, shout out to y'all on Twitter. I really appreciate y'all. If you can, make sure you go to my YouTube channel, subscribe to the MicDrop podcast. We usually cover music, like I said. But hey, WrestleMania season. I'm a big wrestling fan. A lot of people don't know that, but I'm a big wrestling fan. So I'm going to try to incorporate more wrestling type of streams too. But yeah, this night 2 was fucking crazy, bro. I mean, from the start, with the Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins match, like that was just amazing. Even like the ending with Drew winning and then going up to CM Punk and then having, CM Punk. I guess CM Punk is healthy now. You know what I'm saying? So kind of beat him up, and we had Damian Priest come in and cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase, and he won the World Heavyweight Championship. How long do I think he's going to hold that championship? Not too long. For too long there. But I would definitely like to see a program with Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. I don't think that feud needs the title necessarily. I don't think there needs to be a championship involved. If they do, which it seems like they're going towards that path anyways. I don't think it needs the belt necessarily for it to care, but I think that would be a great matchup. But yeah, let me pull up the match card for night 2. We're just going to cover night 2 because night 2 was just by far better. It was just by far that much more interesting, more intriguing. Not all of the matches, obviously there were some down periods, right? But it was more. I feel like they saved more of the interesting, viral, social the things that they knew social media would talk a lot about. They saved for night 2. Night 1 it wasn't too much of that really, which is weird because it wasn't like that last year. I feel like night 1 was exponentially better last year than this year. So maybe it's because Vince McMahon was running this shit. But let me go and pull up the match cards for night. This was again. Let me just go through every single match, bro, in order. So the first match was, I believe it was Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. As soon as they started fighting, I think the bell rang and then my fucking McIntyre with a Claymore right away, just hit him with a Claymore. And it just picked up really, really fast. I like how Triple H books this shit to where, every single, whether it's a Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, the pace of the show, it's never going to be the same. It's never going to be just slow. It's never going to be just fast, like off the rip. It's going to be sporadic. It's going to be on an episodic basis, right? So night 1 didn't really start as fast. I forgot what the first match was for that match. I can't really remember. Night 1 was just it was just boring. I'm not gonna lie. The night 1 was just so fucking boring. It's like, whatever. But night 2, I like how it started. Obviously had CM Punk on commentary. It was very, very entertaining. I mean, it's when I watch wrestling, right? Because again, I am a big wrestling fan. I've been watching wrestling since I want to say 2005, 2006-ish, like around the time where rest in peace Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit passed. Around that time, that's kind of around the time where I started watching professional wrestling or WWE just in general. Because I know I was watching TNA for a short period of time too as well, and ECW too. I like storylines. I know people want to say, oh my God, why do you like wrestling? Wrestling is fake. I don't watch WWE for like it's real. Like most of these sports, if we want to be honest, I feel like I don't think they're 100% legitimate, right? Anything that has a lot of money behind it is going to be fixed in a certain way. It's going to be rigged in a certain sense. That's just not just with basketball. That's with boxing. That's with UFC. So when I watch professional wrestling, I watch it for the story, right? I liken WWE or professional wrestling as like almost like a soap opera for men. I know a lot of people want to say, oh, you're calling it a... It's mostly storyline based, or at least the WWE that I grew up watching. It's mostly supposed to be storyline based, right? I think it's supposed to be, or at least back then, so 60% storyline, 40% wrestling, actual wrestling, right? Because the storyline is very, very important. I would like to feel like. Nowadays, it's obviously been a little bit different now. It's not... ever since when Vince McMahon took over, it was a big shit. Well, Vince has been at the helm for a long time, but obviously when Paul Heyman had more creative control, it was more storyline there. That's why everyone loves to talk about the era, how great it was, right? Oh, the storylines. Oh, this is cinema. Oh, absolute cinema, right? As the kids say. Shout out to D-Fran. He said he's just going to troll me the whole time, so I'll try my best to ignore him. But, when I watch, like, from 1997 to 2000, 2001-ish, 2002. Obviously, people back then, they liked wrestling, not just because most of the casuals thought it was real, because of how great the storylines were. That's why when you watch WWE now, in the age of like the UFC, you have all types of mixed martial arts and sports like that, where it's like real or legitimate sports, as they say. People, they like to shit on it because it's athletic theater. It's not necessarily real, as they say. It's scripted theater, right? They're still taking bumps, still all real shit. But the storyline aspect was missing. That's why people were so focused on it. Oh, this is so fake. This is so fake, because the storyline was lacking. I feel like with Triple H in charge now, it really shows. Oh, is this the presser? Oh, this is the presser after. It really fucking how important the storylines are in all of that, right? So with this match, with the McIntyre and Seth Rollins match, it was great. Seth Rollins had a great intro. His intro was fucking out of this world. It was crazy, over the top. Even before that, I think Stephanie McMahon had came out in the very beginning. She addressed the crowd saying it's the Paul Levesque era. I don't know if you want to call it the Paul Levesque era, or you want to call it the Renaissance, or you want to call it what did The Rock call it? He said the fuck it era or something like that, or because I guess he likes to cuss a lot more now, just like the Attitude Era back then. Even though in the Attitude Era, I don't think they were cussing. I don't think cussing was that prominent as they Attitude Era. I know we're like, oh, I missed the Attitude Era because there was a lot more cussing, there was more blood, and I'll give you more blood, but I don't think the cussing, I think they kind of over-exaggerate the cussing back then. It was more so storyline based. The storyline was so good that when people cussed, it wasn't so frequent to where you'd be like, oh my God, they're cussing every fucking sentence. But it's like, when the storyline calls for it, they cuss. So, started off with Stephanie McMahon. CM Punk was on commentary. The match was good. I think it was a great match. Seth Rollins, he wrestled his ass off. He was obviously selling that knee. Drew McIntyre. I think Drew McIntyre, the best work of his career right now as a heel. I think you keep that man heel for as long as possible. I think you keep Drew Mac. I don't know. Me personally, I love heels. I love my heels. I love heel wrestlers. I've always loved heels. Like Triple H as a heel is probably one of my favorite wrestlers ever. As a heel, Triple H, no one is beating Triple H as a heel. Like, come on, bro. Or Randy Orton, even though he's a tweener, but But yeah, Drew McIntyre ended up pinning Seth Rollins in a great match. After the match, obviously, Drew McIntyre went up to CM Punk, tried to get in his face, showboat that he won the title, and then CM Punk, I guess, hit him, fell to the ground, took off his sleeve. Apparently, CM Punk seems, I guess, because I didn't see CM Punk at the Hall of Fame thing with his brace, this typical brace on. So I kind of assumed that he was recovering a little bit faster than normal. So when I saw him hit Drew McIntyre, take off the brace, get a few punches in, get a little bit of offense in, maybe CM Punk. And again, I don't think CM Punk necessarily has to be on TV, on Monday as much. He can be on TV, but he doesn't have to have the offense. He doesn't have to be fighting necessarily. He can still heel, right? But yeah, this was just a great match to open up the show. Damian Priest came out, cashed in, and pretty predictable. I think it's pretty predictable. We all pretty much predicted that was going to happen. Yeah, it was a great match. No complaints about that. It was 5-star cinema, as they say. This was one of those storyline. Again, the storyline was probably the most important part of that, because obviously people were expecting Damian Priest to cash in, but people were wondering, how are they going to book it? How was it going to be booked? And you can say whatever you want about Triple H as a wrestler, but if you want to talk about some of the best promoters, the best bookers in the wrestling business, he's easily been the best booker. If we're including NXT, he's been the best booker for the better part of 11 years now. I'd like to think. When the fuck did NXT, when did Triple H control of NXT for real? Wasn't it like 2014, 2015, 20, somewhere around there? He's been a pretty good booker for the most part. So he understands wrestling psychology, storylines. He's an actual wrestler. So Triple H cooked again as usual. Great first match. I think what was the next match? The next match. What was the next match? Oh, this was the I didn't give a fuck about. I'm not gonna lie. Snoop Dogg was the guest commentator, and Bubba Ray Dudley was actually the special guest referee for the Philadelphia Street Fight. I think it was against Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus the Final Testament. Look, I don't want to hate on Karrion Kross. I really don't. Like, Karrion Kross is a great wrestler, right? He's not anything crazy. He's a wrestler, right? You put Karrion Kross in a faction with two other people that aren't really going to elevate him. It's not like it helps having people around him. It makes him feel more legit as like a tag team or a faction, whatever you want to call them. But honestly, the Final Testament, like, were we really expecting the Final Testament to win at WrestleMania? When you got Snoop Dogg at commentary, you got all the black people there, you got Bobby Lashley, the Street Profits, all black. I'm just saying, have Snoop Dogg on commentary and have Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits lose, are you? You're not going to do it. So it's pretty predictable off rip, right? And then Karrion Kross isn't that legit as he's not. He doesn't have that it factor. Like it's certain wrestlers that you know, like LA Knight has the it factor. He just has it, bro. He has the crowd control. He has it. He just has it. Karrion Kross, I don't know what this man needs to get over, but every time he comes out to that ring, no one gives a fuck. You can put 4 or 5 people around this nigga. No one gives a fuck. Because no one cares, bro. Like, that's the worst thing to have happen to you as a wrestler. Like, at least you're getting having no reaction at all as a wrestler is terrible. We all know this. Real wrestling fans know this. And Karrion Kross historically gets no reaction. Just like Io Sky today. She didn't get any reaction, which is pretty expected because her as a world champion, is that legit? Like, are we really like, oh my God, Io Sky, no one gives a fuck. Like, let's be honest. No one cares, bruh. Like, so when I was watching this, I was meal prepping. I was meal prepping for next week. I was making some lamb. I'm on a lamb diet now, so I'm trying to lose some weight for the summer, trying to get under, trying to lose like maybe 25, 30 pounds, trying to get under, what I'm saying. I was meal prepping and watching this match, but I just didn't really give a fuck, honestly. I had it on. I had Peacock on my phone. I was watching it. I was cooking, making some eggs, some lamb, some veggies, the full course meal, you know what I'm saying? But I just didn't give a fuck. Like, this was one of those matches where the most entertaining part of the match was the fact that Snoop Dogg was on commentary. And then it was Bubba Ray as a special guest. No one actually gave a fuck about the actual match. And even in the match at the very end, I think there was a botch where I think Karrion Kross tried to get on the table, and then like while he got on the table broke because it's so like, I think it's like really, really light. So I saw something from night one where it was like I guess they put like rubber in like the ladders too. Like it's all, I mean, I'm all for safety. So I mean, people were bitching about it online on X. I'm like, bro, who cares, bro? Like, you don't want these this isn't AEW, nigga. This isn't AEW, nigga. Like, we're not gonna have people getting injured every fucking match, risking their life for a random episode of AEW Dynamite, just for them to be out for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, when you could just put safety measures out there, like, so it was just much ado about nothing. This match, Bobby Lashley, I think it was Montez Ford. He did a frog splash on Karrion Kross on the table for the 1, 2, 3 and the win. Did I give a fuck about this match? No, not really. I did not give a fuck about this. The next match we had, if I'm being honest, I didn't really care too much about this match either. I feel sometimes Triple H, and this is like his first real WrestleMania in charge, right? Like in charge, right? I feel like not everyone belongs on the. I know you want to put LA Knight on the card because he's so over. This is his first WrestleMania. I get that. It's a big name, right? He has the LA Knight. Like, I get it, bro. Like, I understand. You want to put that nigga there so you can have the crowd say LA Knight. I understand. But can we put these niggas in more meaningful, like, even this whole storyline? What is this storyline built off? Like, why should I care about LA Knight versus AJ Styles? Like, where is the story? There is no story in this match. Why should I give a fuck about the match if there's no story? The Rock versus Stone Cold had a story. Triple H versus The Rock, IC title, had a story. Undertaker, Shawn Michaels had a story. John had a story. Shits have a story with it. Right? I think it was RVD and John Cena and someone else at ECW, right? In the big ass ballroom where they're all booing the fuck out of John Cena. Had a huge story behind it that led up to the pay-per-view. Where is the story in LA Knight and AJ Styles? Where's the story? They're great wrestlers. I'm not gonna sit here and dick suck, like, they're great wrestlers. This nigga Cody Rhodes is a love story. This nigga tweeted that. That's funny. They're great wrestlers, but I just didn't really give a fuck. I think it was a no stipulation match. It was hard hitting, stereotypical shit. There's no reason why AJ Styles should have ever even come close to winning this match. It was just so predictable. Like, who gave a fuck, honestly? But yeah, Logan Paul, Jesus Christ. What's it called? LA Knight won. Had LA Knight. Yeah, I get it. It would have been nice to have Stone Cold come out, maybe give LA Knight some props, because I know the whole thing, it kind of reminds people a lot of Stone Cold a lot. Would have been nice to see that, but no, I didn't give a fuck. So 2 matches after the first match that was just great cinema with Drew McIntyre and Seth. You go back to back with the Final Testament, who gives, and Bobby Lashley, who gives a fuck. Shout out to Bobby, but who gives a fuck? And then LA Knight with AJ Styles, who gives a fuck? Shout out to them though, but who gives a fuck? And then we go from that to the 4th match of the evening with the United States Championship, the social media influencer of the year, arguably, you could argue. Logan Paul versus Randy Orton and my personal favorite wrestler of all time. Not all time, but currently, Kevin Owens, aka Kevin Owens, ROH. So this match started out with Logan Paul coming out with a big truck that had a Prime bottle on top of the truck, right? He drove to the side of the ramp thing. He had some shit where he was aiming for the WrestleMania logo and they had pyro go off, and he was trying to pretend like he was shooting Prime out the bottle. It was whatever. But shout out to him. He got the Prime logo on the ring. I feel like Logan Paul is a very underrated wrestler, like professional wrestler. Like, he is very gifted at wrestling to the point where I can see him really. I know he signed a 1-year deal, but Logan Paul is good enough to be there long term. I could see him there for a good 3, 4, 5 years. I could easily see that. Logan Paul is a great wrestler, no dick suck. Like, look at him last year. Look what he did last year. Look what he's doing this year. Like, Logan Paul is arguably one of the better wrestlers on. Think about that. He went from YouTube to the WWE, and he's arguably one of the better technical wrestlers in the entire roster. That has to be commended, and he deserves that Prime logo on the ring. You could say whatever the fuck you want to say about Prime. Me personally, I'm not drinking Prime, right? I think Prime has a little bit too much caffeine, too much sugar for me, for my liking. I know they 10 calories, but it has like what? 10, 11, 12 grams of sugar. I'm good. I'll drink my Celsius. I'm good. But yeah, shout out to Logan Paul. Logan Paul came out to the ring in his truck. Shout out to Prime. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens came out together to the ring. I guess they were on this cart. I don't know what's up with these cars that they're on. I don't know, but they came out together. It was a great match. The match obviously started off. They were kind of teaming up against Logan Paul, trying to keep the camaraderie as close as possible until the very last second so they can go one-on-one for the United States title. It was a great match. Very, very great match. Obviously the spot that everyone likes to talk about was when I Show Speed came out there in the Prime bottle. So 1 year, it's KSI, who coincidentally, this is my conspiracy theory, KSI, a black social media influencer, right? Very popular in the UK. He's black. Last year, he came out in a Prime bottle, just like Speed did this year. Got his ass beat. I Show Speed, social media influencer. Everyone knows, who doesn't know Speed, comes out, Prime bottle, gets his ass beat. I don't know if there's something there. I don't know. Logan Paul probably had a lot to do with that, convincing Triple H to do this. It's a lot of Prime shit going on. Triple H doesn't give a fuck. Triple H, the reason why I like Triple H, puts his ego aside. He's not like Vince McMahon. If you idea, like Logan Paul had this whole Prime idea back-to-back years to where it's like part of his whole shtick now. Triple H is open to listening if it's going to make money and if people are going to talk about it. Like Vince McMahon had such an ego, like it has to be this way or the highway. I made this shit. Triple H don't give a fuck. That's why Triple H is the best person to run this shit. And I'm happy he's finally getting his flowers. This is the Paul Levesque era. I know niggas want to say it's the Renaissance era, but this is definitely the Triple H. This is the Paul Levesque era, bro. And especially when WWE goes to Netflix, it's gonna be more Attitude Era like. It's gonna be more cussing, more blood, more all of that shit. I think they're going to go to Netflix to do that shit. I think that's what Triple H is planning. But obviously, I Show Speed came out in the Prime bottle. Was fucking with Randy Orton. It was barking at him like, barking at that nigga. He pushed Randy Orton. Randy Orton said, "Oh hell no, this shit had to be racist." This nigga Randy Orton kicked this nigga with all his. That nigga kicked that nigga with all of his force, all his might, nigga. He put some extra sauce on it. I ain't gonna lie. It felt kind of racist, a little bit, right? Cleared the table out, dragged him over to the table, grabbed him by the head, barked at his ass, and hit him with the RKO on the table. Had people on X going crazy. Obviously, Speed is, Speed. It was a great look. And I'm pretty sure Logan Paul had a lot to do with that. So shout out to Logan Paul as well. But this ended in Logan Paul winning again. And it was kind of predictable. I'm like, if you had Kevin Owens walk to the ring and that whole camera where you're showing, people walking out to the front, where all the entrance is, you can't have Sami Zayn do that and win, and then have Kevin Owens do that and win too in a triple threat. No, it's not. With the nigga that has his company in the ring, it's not gonna happen. Right? It's not after you just had Triple H on. Logan Paul just had him on his podcast. After Logan Paul just had Triple H on his podcast, you think he's gonna lose? It's not happening. It's predictable. But again, Logan Paul's a great wrestler. So hopefully, I want to see the next feud that he's in. If you ask me, maybe I'm fantasy booking here. maybe for WrestleMania 41. You know, I know WWE have a relationship with the UFC. I don't know what Conor McGregor's doing. Would not mind Conor McGregor training in the ring for a couple of months and saying, you know what, Logan, you think you think you're the shit? The fuck do you think you are? You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't mind a Conor McGregor versus Logan Paul match. Now that is cinema. That right there is what it is cinema. For you, the United States title, for what I don't even think that needs a title, but if Logan Paul does hold the title up until next WrestleMania, don't be surprised if we start to see more UFC integration, more Conor McGregor. Because out of all the UFC niggas I could really see in the WWE, even on like a part-time basis, is probably Conor McGregor. I don't think Conor McGregor is doing much of anything right. What is Conor McGregor doing right now? Fighting right now. He's just chilling wherever the fuck he is in Ireland or Scotland, wherever. Bring that nigga on to the WWE. I mean, I've seen they got a relationship. They have a partnership. So Dana White, yo, what's Conor doing? Bring him over. Let's train him. Let's go. If Logan Paul can do it, if Ronda Rousey can do it, I'm pretty sure Conor McGregor can do it, right? I think so, right? I think so. Shout out to Flying Low in the chat, my boy. Shout out to Flying Low. Anti-hater, just like the anti-hater, like unlike D-Fran, who is a hater. Shout out to the Flying Low. DC Kobe Covington. I don't know what that means. But again, shout out on there, all 27 of y'all on Twitter. Shout out to y'all. Notice it's not really the stereotypical stream that I usually do, but you know, it's WrestleMania season. I gotta talk about it. You feel me? But it was now, this was the match I didn't give two shits about. A solitary fuck about. The crowd didn't give a fuck so much that they were chanting some random chant. I don't know what they were chanting, but it had nothing to do with the match. Chanting. They could have chanted CM Punk. When the crowd is chanting CM Punk and CM Punk is nowhere in the vicinity, there's a problem. A problem. Okay. The Bayley versus Io Sky, no one gave a fuck about this women's championship match. I don't understand why. Again, I understand why you wanted to put Bayley in the match. You want to give Bayley her moment. I think this was her first. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this Bayley's first one-on-one match at WrestleMania? Like one-on-one? I think that might have been why they made this such a big deal for Bayley. But yeah, you know, Bayley won. Again, I was meal prepping. I was making my lamb. I was making my broccoli carrots. I was making my scrambled eggs. I ate my yogurt and my raw almonds. I'm trying to live a healthier lifestyle because niggas like D-Fran inspired me every day to be the better version of myself every single day. So shout out to D-Fran. But while I was cooking and doing all that shit, I didn't give a solitary fuck about this match. This was the second to last match, and no one gave a fuck. So the crowd didn't give a fuck so much that they were chanting random shit in the crowd. They did not give a solitary fuck about this shit. They didn't. Like this match and the women's match from yesterday, I forgot who was even fighting in that match. Was it like Zoe Stark and was it like? And I love Zoe Stark as a wrestler. I think she's underrated. I think Triple H needs to find something to do because she is so underrated. And it's a crime that Ricochet. It is a crime that Ricochet could not have been fit. You couldn't put Ricochet on this shit. You couldn't replace Bobby Lashley and the fucking Street Profits versus the Final Testament. Who the fuck? You couldn't replace that with Ricochet versus I don't fucking know anybody, Nick. Anybody. Andrade right? I know Andrade had a match with Mysterio, I think something like that, but you couldn't find something for Ricochet to do on this shit. 5 matches a night. You couldn't find anything for Ricochet. Nothing. This nigga fucking almost killed himself on the Friday night down before all of this WrestleMania shit. And I have to sit here and watch Zoe Stark, and I don't even remember the match call. It was so boring in night 1. I forgot. Who gives a fuck? Just like this shit. And I don't want to hate on this women's. I don't want to hate on the women, because the women are going to be an integral part of the Triple H era, with Jade Cargill, with Naomi, with Bayley, with Rhea Ripley, with all these great. Bianca Belair is always there. You got Tiffany Stratton is always there. You got so many great fucking young talented women that can actually fucking wrestle, that aren't just eye candy like back then with the divas and all that shit. It's like, bro, I don't want to talk shit about them, but it's like, bro, Io Sky versus Bayley, no one gives a fuck. I promise you, if Bayley was not in this match, and it was someone else other than Bayley in this match, and if Bayley did not win this match, no one would give a solitary fuck. No one would care. No one would give a shit. I barely gave a shit, and I was cooking fucking dinner. I was meal prepping, and I was falling asleep, bro. It was so bad. Turn it off. I wanted to turn my TV off. WrestleMania should not make me want to turn my TV off. Ever. It's WrestleMania. But yeah, Bayley won. Who gives a fuck? And the main events, obviously the talk of the day, we got the champion here, Cody Rhodes, the Mr. BLM, with the black wife, obviously, the guy that's invited to the cookout, as they say on social media, Cody Rhodes makes an entrance with his wife. I'm like, bro, when Cody Rhodes had Brandy come out, and Cody Rhodes had this fucking majestic Roman emperor type of mask on, I was like, there's no way this nigga's not winning. It's like it's too many signs, right? They were on social media talking about all of the shit, all of the records that Roman had broke after he won last night. Oh, this is going to be his 9th main event, WrestleMania, the most of all time. 1,316 days. I was like, nigga, if you remove that one, that's 316. It's Stone Cold coming up. But yeah, they were talking about all of this Roman Reigns shit. Roman Reigns has 1K days as champion. He has 1K something else, right? He has the most main events in WrestleMania history, technically, because it's night 1 and night 2. It's technically 7, but if you're counting night 1 and night 2, it makes it 9, right? All of these shit. So obviously, everyone and their mother knew Cody Rhodes was gonna win. We're not fucking stupid, right? Cody Rhodes is obviously gonna win. If Stephanie McMahon's coming out there saying this is a new era, this is a Paul Levesque era, you can't have the same champion that's been there when Vince was there retain the championship. Happen. It's gonna be clusterfuck of bullshit because it's WrestleMania 40, the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania. So came out there with his wife with a skull mask, and yeah, it's a great entrance. And Roman Reigns came out to an orchestra. An entire orchestra. He came down the ramp, in epic fashion. Same. I felt like he low-key knew that he was going to lose too, so wanted to go out with a bang. Had the orchestra. It's the 9th inning, and even then, when they were saying it's the 9th inning, in my mind, I was like, okay, it's the 9th inning. This is your 9th WrestleMania main event, you're gonna lose, right? Obviously, it was too many. Triple H is good at putting like little like nuggets of like hints of what's gonna happen in the shit. This is the 9th inning. This is my 9th event. You know, I've been champion for 13, 16 days. 1,000, you know, and all of these fucking dick riders, these Roman Reigns dick riders that like to call the niggas that wanted Cody to win, oh, the Cody crybabies. Oh, because The Rock said it. Look, bro. Honestly, bro. Did you honestly want Reigns to win in a fuck fit? Because you know he's not gonna win clean, right? You know he's not gonna win clean, right? It's gonna be Sikoa or Jimmy Uso or niggas were saying, oh, Jacob Fatu got signed a couple hours ago. Niggas were saying Jacob Fatu was going to interfere, which I thought might have. There was a possibility now. It's a possibility because why are you announcing that an hour before the actual wrestling that you signed Jacob Fatu? Why are you announcing that now? You know, but honestly, did you niggas really want Roman Reigns to win again? Honestly. Was that something that you honestly wanted? Really? The nigga's been champion since the pandemic. I'm pretty sure that's enough years, brother. You're not, first off, even if he did beat Hulk Hogan's record, it's still 3rd place. Why the fuck would you ruin a perfect storyline for Cody Rhodes? Finishing the story for Dusty Rhodes, winning a championship that Dusty Rhodes never won, all of this shit. Why would you ruin that for Roman Reigns surpassing Hulk Hogan at 3rd place? Who cares? Who cares? The nigga's already made history. He's had the most WrestleMania main events. It's been a great run, right? You've been champion for 4 fucking years. You don't need to break Bruno Sammartino's record, bro. You don't need to be champion for 8, 9, 10. That's not realistic, bro. This is not the WWE 2K24 video game. We're talking about real life here. Maybe in a video game, sure, all you Roman Reigns cock munchers can say, oh, I think I'm going to have Roman Reigns be champion for 9 years, 10 years, 11 years. Go ahead. But in this shit, nah. So the right person lost. The right person won. Let's see what the chat say. Let's say I ain't going to say the last match. What final let's say? I ain't the last match and that's it. Why would I care about anything else? Well, that's kind of the reason why Triple H books it the way it is. Like, you know, obviously when you go, it's the same with boxing. And when you go for like a boxing match, you're not necessarily there for the undercard. You're there for Floyd Mayweather versus Pacquiao or, you know, whoever the fuck is the main event, right? You're not necessarily there for the undercard like that. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, you're not going to want to see every match on the card. But sometimes they have 2 co-headliners. Sometimes there's years where there might be 2 event type matches. Kind of was tonight. It just started at it. It was just the first thing that we saw. We saw Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins first, and we saw Roman versus Cody last. So, you know, I see what you mean, but you know, had to meal prep for your man. Salute to Word being a good BF. Oh, shut the fuck up. No one cares if they can really wrestle. Give me a good story. Now, I like niggas that can actually wrestle. Have to be depending on how good the story is. You don't have to be fucking AJ Styles or Ricochet or fucking Will Ospreay doing 6-star classic matches, jumping and flipping all over the guy. You don't need to do that, right? Because Gunther is fucking. He's not that type of wrestler, and he's probably arguably one of the better, most realistic wrestlers on the entire fucking roster. And he's big as He's not like Jeff Hardy. Like he's not a AJ Styles. He's not a fucking Ray. He's not a fucking Ricochet. He's not that, but it's still Gunther. You know what I'm saying? Like it's Gunther. You're not gonna talk shit about Gunther, right? Let's see. Yes, I wanted him to win. The fuck. If The Rock is on your team, you better be winning. Well, fan way of looking at it. You know, obviously that's what they want you to think, right? In a realistic world, you know, if you have the Roman Reigns as your in The Rock as your partner. I mean, they did win like last night, but I'm talking about tonight. Night one, I honestly don't even want to talk about like that. I'll go through it really quick because I want to watch Joe Cronin and JD from NY's reviews and all that. But I'm gonna wrap it up after this. But you know, it's like you can't really use logic in the WWE like that, especially if it's a storyline based behind it. Usually, with Triple H, it's more logic based. With Triple H, Vince McMahon, it made no sense. It like you would literally have two random wrestlers go together and then the match would be like 3, 4, 5 minutes long, like for no reason on like a random Monday Night Raw. It made no sense, right? But Triple H, he kind of books more logically than a Vince McMahon. You know, Vince McMahon, it was just all, it's either agenda based, like, oh, I love Roman Reigns. Oh, I like that guy. Oh, that guy. Oh, Omos, I like Omos. Oh, he reminds me of the great cop. It's like, it was more agenda based because whatever Vince McMahon likes, it just goes with. But with Triple H, he looks at what the crowd is reacting the most to, and he books like LA Knight is over with the crowd. He pushes LA Knight. Jey Uso, who just became a solo wrestler, was just in a tag team. He sees he's having great success with the whole up down. He pushes Jey Uso. Vince is not doing that shit. He doesn't give a fuck about the crowd. He never gave a fuck about what the crowd thinks. He cares about what he thinks. Which is why this is such a very important era in the wrestling landscape. You know what I'm saying? But JD, the nerd who takes wrestling way too serious. I thought he was an AEW stan. Dick suck. That is not true. He's not an AEW stan. He just calls it as it is. I fuck with JD. I've been watching JD since 2014, 2015. It's about 10 years now. JD's pretty, he's just honest. He's honest about it. It's all about the storyline. I agree. He says the same thing. It's the casual person in 2020 with other sports like MMA, UFC, they're not watching WWE strictly for wrestling. There's no way you're watching the WWE just to watch professional wrestling. There are these smart fans that like to do that, but a lot of those smart fans, they just watch AEW because it's more wrestling based. The WWE that Triple H is bringing in, it's more storyline, soap opera, cinema type shit. And that is the WWE that a lot of these old heads that watched the Attitude Era, they loved it. It was an even mix of wrestling and storylines and movie, cinema type shit, right? But as far as this Roman Reigns shit, Roman Reigns came out with his orchestra. It was a lot that happened in this match. I'm trying to read some notes on everything that happened, but it was a lot. It was obviously bloodline rules for the title. Cody Rhodes knew that the odds were stacked against him, so he brought out weapons. He brought out the table. He even hit Roman Reigns with a Ric Flair figure 4 leg lock at a certain point in the match. Hit him with a kendo stick a couple times. It was a lot of shit that was happening. A lot of shit. They even spilled out to the crowd. They were fighting in the crowd for a little bit. Cody Rhodes, he speared him through the fucking barricade. It was a lot of shit that happened. It kept my attention from start to finish. It started off slow, but again, Triple H always emphasizes focus on the story. slow, methodic. Don't just fucking tell a story in the ring. That is a problem that AEW has had for a long time. Not telling stories in the ring. AEW, Tony Khan, Chris Jericho, they have had that problem for a long time, not telling long-term stories. Why do you think most niggas are watching WWE a lot more than AEW? You could say, oh, MJF being out has a lot to do with that. That might be true, but you still have Samoa Joe. You still have Will Ospreay. You still have Bryan Danielson. You still have Swerve Strickland. You have more than enough wrestlers, so don't give me that shit. Tell a story. Tell a fucking story in the ring. It's no excuse. Rhodes got an offense in. You know, he delivered a bionic elbow to Reigns. That kind of gave him momentum. They were outside of the ring. I think Cody Rhodes looking at the announce table, like, I'm going to put this nigga through the announce table. He turned back to Roman. Roman hit him with the low blow. And, I think he hit him with a power bomb through the announce table. He brought Cody Rhodes back into the ring. Rhodes out. Then Rhodes tried to spear Roman Reigns. He tried to use his own finisher against him because Roman used his finisher against him. Unsuccessful. Once Rhodes looked like he was about to close in, was about to hit, about to pin him, Jimmy Uso, oh, shocker, Jimmy Uso comes out to save the fucking day. Oh, I'm so fucking surprised. The same predictable bullshit we've been saying for the last 1,316 days. Super kicked Cody Rhodes, tried to drag Roman or tried to pick up Roman to make him pin him. Rhodes kicks out again. And then Jey Uso comes out, and then they do a crazy spot where Jimmy runs up the ramp to Jey. Jey hits a super kick, and then out of fucking nowhere, Jey spears that nigga through a table on the bottom of the side of the ramp. I'm surprised he knew where the table was, because if that nigga didn't know where the table was, that could have been really bad. Because the angle that he speared him in, that could have been a situation there. But it was a great spot. It was a crazy spot. Rhodes momentum again. Cody Rhodes, he needs versatility. He needs adversity. He needs to fight from behind. All this bullshit, right? Cody Rhodes he hits one crossroads on Roman. Hits the second crossroads on Roman. The third crossroads was so fucking predictable that it wasn't going to happen, because this nigga Cody Rhodes, he had him and he was looking around like, oh, where's Solo? Where's Solo? Solo comes out and spikes that nigga. It was the most predictable Samoan spike I've seen in a long time. He was literally looking, where is Solo? Spike me so I don't have to get nigga, right? Samoan spiked him. I think he dragged Roman onto Cody Rhodes so that he can pin him. Cody Rhodes kicked out again. And I think there was another spot where he tried to do a cross. I don't know if he tried to spike him again or hit him with a crossroads again, and then he kicked out again. Solo Sikoa got mad as fuck. And then out of nowhere, John Cena comes to the ring, running down. Comes to the ring, right? Gives the attitude adjustment to Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns. And then when he does that, The Rock shows up with Cena in the ring, and they do a epic face-off. It reminded me a lot of their last two bouts together. Probably been, I think it's probably the 10th anniversary of their last matchup together. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know when their last matchup was. I'm pretty sure it was WrestleMania 30. Was it not WrestleMania 30, something like that? I think it was John Cena versus The Rock or something like that. I don't remember the exact year, but they faced in the ring. It's a face-off, The Rock hit a rock bottom on Cena, and it confused me for a second because the Shield's theme song was playing, but I didn't see Seth Rollins. I thought he was going to come out from the crowd, but the camera was pointing towards The Rock, so you couldn't really see the angle Seth was going to come from. I don't know if this is a gimmick change back into the Shield. Seth Rollins' character is really over right now. I would not mind if Seth Rollins decided to change his gimmick to a more serious Shield-like shit. It was different. I kind of like it because it was very spontaneous. It had people guessing, like, what the fuck, what's going on? Because I was expecting, okay, The Rock just hit an attitude adjustment on Cena. Stone Cold, Steve Austin was supposed to come out. That's what I was thinking. I thought Stone Cold was going to come out instead of The Undertaker. We'll get to that. But Seth Rollins comes out, has the Shield music coming in. I think he was Superman punched by Roman. I think that's it's it all just happened, right? So I'm trying to remember it. I think he was Superman punched in the ring because he had a chair in his hand and he got Superman punched and the chair fell. And after that, I think The Rock got the fucking belt. I think it said Mama Rhodes on it. He got the belt. Like, look, I'm about to put your blood on this belt, boy. I'm the final boss, boy. All this shit. The Rock talking this shit. And then we get The Undertaker. This is the cinema part of WrestleMania. The Undertaker comes out. The Rock turns around, sees The Undertaker, says, holy shit, what year is it? Is it 1998? What the fuck? Is that The Undertaker? He chokeslams The Rock in a very wild sequence. And then I think after the ring went dark, the lights come on again. Everyone's out of the ring. I'm assuming they all go under. I think there's like a way you can go to get to backstage. There's a way you can go under the ring. I know some people don't know this, but a lot of people. There's like a trap door under the ring to where you can actually go to the backstage. It's a quicker way to get. Undertaker uses it all the time. It's a quicker way to get backstage. That's all. You just go under the ring. I think they probably went under the ring. The lights come on. Cody Rhodes sees Roman. He hits 3 crossroads. Finally. The third crossroads, he obviously holds it for a little bit. He looks around. No one else is in the way. No one's going to fuck this up. No one's going to fuck up my fucking story again. He hits the third crossroad. He pins him. 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes finally finishes the Sorcerer's Stone. Yes, I said it. Cody Rhodes finishes Harry Potter, a very, very long story. A lot of pages. Very long story. So it was great to see Cody Rhodes finally finish his story. This is to usher in a new era of the WWE. There will be a lot of changes now. I know Triple H talked about there being a WWE draft, probably sometime in April. I think it said April or May. He said it in about a month. So I'm going to assume it's probably in early May. It's going to be a WWE draft. Now that Cody Rhodes is a champion now, he is probably going to be on Raw. I don't know if they're going to move him to SmackDown. I don't think it's wise to move Cody Rhodes to SmackDown when you... I'm assuming Roman Reigns is going to be on... I don't know if Roman Reigns is going to take a break now because he lost the title, or they're going to give him a rematch, or he feels he's owed a rematch now, like a rematch clause. I don't know what's going to happen regarding that. But, I'm just happy Cody, the right person won. All of you Roman Reigns cock munchers, relax. Relax, nigga. It's not that serious, nigga. I got some of you niggas in my fucking DMs. Relax, nigga. It's scripted, nigga. Relax, nigga. Okay? The right person won. Okay? And I'm seeing a tweet here that Roman Reigns was literally smiling when the referee counted to 3 for Cody Rhodes. Roman Reigns was happy to take the pin for Cody because Cody historically is the most unselfish wrestler in the world. That nigga, you niggas, that's the thing. A lot of you niggas don't remember Cody Rhodes when he was Stardust. That nigga was not winning a lot of matches before leaving. He was not winning a lot of matches. When he had to leave, develop, go to AEW, build his shit up again, come back, then win. Before, he was not winning before all this shit. You niggas don't remember Stardust, nigga? He deserves this shit. I'm happy for Cody Rhodes. I can't wait for Monday Night Raw tomorrow because usually the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania is huge. I know under the Triple H administration, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. You know, nigga, did my shit freeze? What the fuck? Nigga, did my shit freeze? Hold on. My shit froze. That's wild. Let me force quit. Nigga, did my shit freeze? These niggas froze me. You know the Roman Reigns Dick Riders froze me. Look what happened, bro. You see what I'm talking about? Shout out to Roman, though. Yeah, Roman was fucking literally smiling when he pinned him 1, 2, 3, bro. Like, he was happy for Cody because Cody historically has never been the type of nigga that they envisioned to be champion. I think Roman Reigns being champion for 4 years, I think he'll be okay with taking a loss. I think he'll be okay. I don't think Roman Reigns needs the title. I'm pretty sure Roman Reigns is over enough to where he can go into a feud with The Rock. They can have their own bloodlines. Maybe Solo Sikoa says, I don't trust you, Roman, bro. You should have pinned him. If it was me, I would have pinned him, type shit. And then Solo sides with The Rock. The Rock maybe gets Jay on his side with Solo, and then Jimmy, Roman, and maybe Jacob Fatu. That could be a nice little bloodline type of shit. I don't know what Paul Heyman's gonna do because the whole purpose of Paul Heyman is because Roman is the tribal chief. If Roman doesn't have the title, is he really the tribal chief anymore? So it's gonna be great. It actually makes it more intriguing with him not having the title and putting it on a full-time champion in Cody Rhodes that is over, that is a baby face. Right? We've had a heel champion for 4 years. We don't need a heel champion for 4 years, nigga. We don't need a heel champion. All of the longest reigning champions historically have not been heel champions. I hope you know that. They've been mostly face champions. They want to cheer the champion. They don't really want to boo a champion or have to feel like they have to boo a champion. They want to cheer a champion. Usually. I personally like heel champions. I like Roman Reigns as a heel. I think Roman Reigns as a heel is God's here. God's here. I mean, Cody Rhodes winning was so great. It was so emotional that, you know, even Samantha Irving, who did a fantastic job, by the way, announcing the entire night, even night 1 and night 2. She did an amazing job, honestly. So yeah, she was like emotionally overwhelmed when she was like when Cody Rhodes won. She could barely even announce that Cody Rhodes won. She was like so emotional for Cody because Cody is just so unselfish. Like Cody Rhodes, like he's been taking his L's, L after L after L after L. Vince had this nigga in a feud with Brock Lesnar for 4 months for no fucking reason. In a feud with Shinsuke Nakamura with no fucking reason. No reason at all. Triple owed it to Cody Rhodes for him to win. So this was a great WrestleMania. I'm not trying to stream for too long because I got niggas I want to watch. I want to hear their opinions. JD from NY, all them niggas. Joe Cronin. Shout out to the Joe Cronin show. Even though we've had a couple beefs back in my younger days, we've had a couple beefs, me and Joe Cronin. But I fuck with Joe. I still watch him. You know, I watch both. I watch JD and Joe. Shout out to both of them. But yeah, this is the WrestleMania 40 review. I'm gonna try to do more of these. I might do one for the Royal Rumble. I only really care about WrestleMania and Royal Rumble, to be honest. I might SummerSlam, but it just depends. I'm trying to incorporate more of the shit that I actually like and watch and do streams on it. I don't want to just cover music 24/7 because it can get tiring sometimes. Like sometimes some of the shit I just don't give a fuck about, honestly. But I know that's kind of my niche with this channel, so I'm going to try to keep it more music based. But I want to venture out a little bit. So shout out to all the people watching or that have watched on Twitter. All 31 of you guys watching on Twitter. Shout out to y'all. Make sure you like and subscribe. This is the MicDrop podcast. Go. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my niggas. Shout out to Flying Low for actually watching. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you're a big wrestling fan too, but shout out to you for watching. He said I preferred the Dead Man over Stone Cold. Stone Cold would have stole the moment. Too big of a star. I kind of see what you mean. But then again, it's like The Undertaker, Stone Cold, you could argue that. You could really argue that. I mean, Undertaker's, I think the only difference is like Stone Cold could actually still kind of wrestle still. The Undertaker can't really wrestle anymore. I think he's retired. There's Undertaker. I think Undertaker is just as recognizable as Stone Cold. So that might be arguable. But shout out to y'all for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. MicDrop Podcast. I will be live probably next Sunday. I don't know when Metro Boomin and all the niggas are dropping, but I'll probably be live when they drop or something like that. But shout out to y'all.